Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's Alumni Ventures Masterclass webinar. My name is NRE Ramas Swami. I'm a partner here at Alumni Ventures. It's a privilege to walk you through one of our standout portfolio companies, Cohere, and why we believe it represents the next generation of category-defining enterprise AI companies. Please note that this is a pre-recorded webinar. But even though you may be watching this some weeks after I recorded it, everything we cover, including the market dynamics, the company progress, and our investment thesis, is likely to be just as relevant because these trends are shaping the next decade in AI. Before we dive in, here's a quick but important reminder. We are speaking today about Alumni Ventures and our views of the associated investing landscape. This presentation is for informational purposes only and is not an offer to buy or sell securities, which are only made pursuant to the formal offering documents for the fund. A little bit about me before we jump in. My career has been at the intersection of engineering, entrepreneurship, and venture capital. I previously led engineering teams in the iPhone group at Apple, as well as worked on Tesla's Model S team. I've also worked at startups and transitioned since then into investing, first at VC fund DCVC, after which I joined Alumni Ventures. At Alumni Ventures, I primarily invest in AI companies and emerging technology companies, and I co-authored our AI investment thesis. I studied engineering at Stanford and also completed my MBA there. I sourced our investment in Cohere, and I'm excited to talk to you about it today. So here's what we'll cover in this session. So first, what Cohere does and why it stands out in such a crowded field. Next, we'll talk about the broader AI market dynamics and why we think this is a generational moment for enterprise AI. Third, we'll cover why we invested in Cohere, what gave us conviction, and what risks we considered. And lastly, we'll talk about how we secured allocation in this highly competitive deal, as well as Cohere's amazing progress and the milestones the company has hit since our investment. So let's start with the basics. What is Cohere? Cohere is one of the fastest growing technology companies in history, having gone from zero to $100 million in annual recurring revenue in just 2.5 years. Notably, the company continues to grow rapidly, having doubled revenue just in the first half of 2025. This growth has been driven by skyrocketing demand for secure, customized AI tools in regulated industries like finance, healthcare, and government, where privacy and trust are absolutely critical. Cohere has several global multinational companies among its base of customers and partners like McKinsey, Salesforce, Nvidia, Fujitsu, Oracle, Notion, and more. What's remarkable is that the company has achieved this scale with discipline, maintaining very high gross margins and raising just over $900 million to date as of the timing of this recording. And this is much less than many of the competitors in the space. So how does Cohere actually stand out in a crowded market? It actually comes down to being enterprise first by design. Unlike companies like OpenAI and Anthropic, which started out going after the consumer base, Cohere has been squarely focused on the enterprise AI market by providing secure large language models for enterprise data within large companies. They prioritize data sovereignty, enabling customers to deploy models in private clouds or even fully on-premise, which is essential in highly regulated sectors. Outside of these kinds of private instances, Cohere is also cloud agnostic, working across AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud, with no vendor lock-in from a customer standpoint. And this is a major selling point for enterprise customers. Roughly 85% of Cohere's revenue now comes from private deployments, providing predictability and resilience, while margins are north of 80%. Cohere has also demonstrated exceptional capital efficiency and scalability. Their models are optimized for domain-specific tasks, which keeps compute costs low, and they support over 100 languages, handling extremely long context windows and delivering high-accuracy search and ranking across enterprise data. Earlier in 2025, they launched Cohere North, a chatbot-style application for enterprises, aiming at helping knowledge workers with tasks like summarizing documents. And this is already being tested by customers like the Royal Bank of Canada and LG. Importantly, Cohere's shift towards smaller, specialized models reflects a broader trend in AI. As enterprises move away from giant, generalized systems towards more domain-specific and more efficient tools that deliver better ROI. So we found this quite interesting. Let's talk about our thesis on AI and why this is the right time for an investment like this. We believe AI is at a generational inflection point, similar to the rise of internet or the mobile revolution. McKinsey estimates that generative AI could unlock $3 to $4 trillion annually in value. The first wave of excitement has been around consumer apps in AI, but the next, and we think larger wave, is about enterprise adoption of these amazing tools like large language models. As companies look for secure, private, and adaptable solutions to integrate AI into their workflows, we think Cohere is really well positioned there. The fact that most of Cohere's revenue now comes from long-term private contracts is evidence of how well they're meeting this enterprise need. So why did we decide to back Cohere? It comes down to 4 key reasons. First, the team. Cohere's CEO, Aidan Gomez, co-wrote the transformer paper that underpins modern large language models. The company's chief operating officer, Martin Kahn, was previously the CFO of YouTube and a former senior partner at BCG. Chief scientist Phil Blunsom is an Oxford machine learning professor. So the team is top-notch and combines great technical experience as well as business leadership. The second reason we backed Cohere is around capital efficiency and discipline. They have successfully avoided the billion-dollar burn rates of some of their peers while still delivering world-class performance. Thirdly, Cohere's models consistently rank at the top of industry benchmarks, and they have secured strategic partnerships with Nvidia, Salesforce, Oracle, Cisco, AMD, and more companies like that. Lastly, it's around the investors around the table. Cohere's investors include Nvidia, Cisco, and Index Ventures, as well as advisors like Jeff Hinton, who is a Nobel Prize winner and known as the godfather of AI. Each one of these 4 aspects we think is compelling in an investment opportunity, but the combination of all 4 of them is pretty rare, and this got us really excited about Cohere. Of course, no venture investment is without risk. And so here are a few things we evaluated. Cohere's founding team, it was highly technical, but it was their first time founding a company at this kind of scale. But they wisely brought in enterprise operators like Martin Kahn, who was CFO of YouTube, as I mentioned, and the team is also supported by an experienced board. Second is around the market. The market is competitive. I think everybody has woken up to the promise of generative AI, but Cohere has found a defensible niche in regulated enterprise sectors. Thirdly, at the time we invested, consumer Gen AI was dominating the headlines, but we believed that enterprises would soon follow, and that is exactly played out. Even though enterprise adoption was slower in the beginning, Cohere has managed to carve out a niche, and enterprises are seeing the power of AI, and this is likely to continue. So let's talk a little bit about how we were able to secure allocation in a competitive deal. This was our first investment in Cohere was in the company's Series C round in 2023. Access to these competitive rounds doesn't happen by accident. We had been tracking Cohere for quite some time as part of our ongoing AI investment thesis. And we are, these kinds of theses, we're constantly refining our point of view on the space through our conversations with our alumni network and with founders across the AI ecosystem. And so this gave us a strong perspective on what the market was looking for and why Cohere stood out. Secondly, we met Cohere at an AI conference in San Francisco, and this helped us build a relationship with the team before their next funding round was underway. Third, in our discussions with Cohere, we emphasized how Alumni Ventures' extensive alumni networks could help them amplify their reach. And lastly, when the opportunity did arise, we were ready to invest, and we were able to find our way into what became a fast-moving, highly competitive Series C round. And our preparation and our relationships paid off. And we were proud to put our Alumni Ventures investors alongside some of the leading venture firms in the world on this deal. Since our investment, I'm glad to share Cohere has hit several key milestones. First, around revenue, the company has doubled its annualized revenue just in the first half of 2025. The company is now at over $100 million in annual recurring revenue. Second, around enterprise traction, roughly 85% of the company's business now comes from private deployments and in long-term contracts. And this is exactly the shift the CEO, Aidan Gomez, has had highlighted in late 2024. In terms of margins and efficiency, the company has maintained strong gross margins and has demonstrated sustainability of their business model without incurring billions of dollars in burn, unlike the competitors. In terms of the customer base, Cohere has expanded their customers to include large multinationals like the Royal Bank of Canada, LG, Fujitsu, etc., alongside partners like Oracle and Salesforce. And in terms of product innovation, the company has made significant strides as well. They launched Cohere North, a knowledge worker focused chatbot style application, which is currently in testing with large enterprises in regulated industries, which is further evidence of their ability to anticipate and meet enterprise needs. We also see a strategic alignment with broader investment trends. Cohere's shift towards smaller, specialized models reflects a growing realization across the AI sector. Customers are increasingly seeing value in domain-specific, privacy-conscious tools over massive, generalized large language models. So why does this all matter? And why does it matter to us? And why does it matter to you as investors? It matters because AI is no longer an experiment. It is becoming the infrastructure of the global economy. And to succeed in this next phase, companies need to solve real business problems, build defensible moats, and they also need to grow responsibly. And at Alumni Ventures, that's the kind of founder and company thesis that we aim to back. And Cohere embodies all of this in terms of world-class leadership, really clear strategic focus, capital discipline, efficiency, and a proven ability to deliver what the market is actually looking for. That's why we think Cohere is a category-defining company and one that is positioned to lead in enterprise AI for many years to come. So one more thing, for those of you who may be newer to Alumni Ventures, let me take a few minutes to explain who we are and how we help investors like you access opportunities like Cohere. Alumni Ventures is among the most active VC firms globally, doing over 100 deals a year. We pool capital from accredited investors into diversified venture portfolios. We've raised more than $1.4 billion from over 10,000 individual investors. We have over 100 employees with offices in Menlo Park, Boston, New York, Chicago, and our headquarters are in Manchester, New Hampshire. We were founded to solve an important pain point. Ordinary individual investors rarely get access to prime venture capital deals. Companies like Apple, Nvidia, and Uber were all funded initially by venture capital. Venture-backed companies like these, they often shape the future of industries around us. And some of these companies can generate outsized financial returns. We believe that venture as an asset class belongs in many personal portfolios, but still accessing venture capital deals remains hard. And that's the pain point we were founded to solve. We serve a wide range of accredited individuals, from someone who is a tech enthusiast or someone who's just curious about venture, as well as a more sophisticated asset allocator or someone who's just looking for moonshot-like opportunities and wants to pay it forward for future generations. Since the founding of Alumni Ventures, we've invested in over 1,000 companies over the past 10 years, and we've built relationships with top VC firms like Andreessen Horowitz, Khosla Ventures, Kleiner Perkins, et cetera. And we have dozens of investments with each of these firms. In 2024, we were ranked a top 20 VC firm by CB Insights and also listed among the most founder-friendly investors in the industry. So if you'd like to get involved, we invite you to learn more about Spike Ventures, which is the Stanford community fund within Alumni Ventures. Spike is the same fund that invested in Cohere. Like I mentioned, Spike is the Alumni Ventures fund for anyone that is a fan of the Stanford community, whether as an alum or just as a friend of the network. As you know, Stanford is at the epicenter of Silicon Valley, and companies like OpenAI, Google, Snapchat were all founded by Stanford alumni. So there are two easy ways for you to take the next step. The first is to visit our website to explore the fund materials and see more examples of the companies we've backed. The second way is to schedule a call with one of our senior partners shown on this page for a personalized walkthrough of the fund and your options. And if you're already one of our investors, Alumni Ventures, welcome back. As always, your account managers are your first point of contact for any questions about your portfolio. And with that, thank you for spending this time with me today and for learning more about Cohere and our thesis on enterprise AI. At Alumni Ventures, we are committed to helping you access the next generation of transformative companies early and to build portfolios that put you alongside the world's leading investors. We look forward to partnering with you on your venture journey. Thank you and have a great day.